Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to the E. Stewart Grant Center for today's USA South Conference men's basketball matchup between the Falcons of Pfeiffer University and your Averett University Cougars. I'm former Assistant Sports Information Director Davin Wilson, and I will be bringing you all of the action from today's game. We are roughly about 12 minutes away from the start of things, as you can see down there at the bottom of your screen. And we're going to take a look here at just a few quick rundowns on the Kickback Jacks pregame show. First off, we're going to take a look at the starters. First, for the Falcons of Pfeiffer, we're going to have number 5, Tajariq Simmons, starting things off. Number 12, Craig Saab will follow. Number 14, Blake Zieski will be the third starter. Number 23, Kyle Ridley, earns the 4th spot. And then number 24, Nolan Whitener, will pick up the 5th and final starting spot for the Falcons here today. Now we're going to take a look at the starting 5 for your Averett University Cougars. First off, we've got guard number 3, Montre Cash, who leads the team with 14 assists. Backing him up is number 11, Jalen Burnett, who has made a team-high 23 free throws. Then we're going to have number 12 for Timothy Henry in the 3 spot, averaging 20.2 minutes per game. He will be backed up by number 22, guard Vince Contreras, who has a team-high 89 points and 12 steals. Contreras getting it done on both ends of the court. And then rounding out the starting 5 will be number 35, Isaiah Jones, the forward, who comes in leading with a team-high 12 blocks on the season. And Averett will also look to Harrison Cochran if it's looking to get his three-point game started. And they will rely on number 40, Raymond Bullock, also as well to provide them a little bit of an inside post presence as we head into this contest. So we're going to take a look here at some fun facts. First, for Pfeiffer, they come into this game 4-2, 0-1 in the USA South. After winning 3 of their first 4 games this season, the Falcons have lost 2 of their last 3, with the last one coming against Piedmont International University on December 1st, where they lost a 115-102 contest. Now we're going to take a look here for your Averett University Cougars. Averett coming in, trying to get his first win of the season, also trying to get his first USA South Conference victory, even things up at 1-1. And they are coming off a heartbreaking 73-70 loss to Brevard College, on the road on December 7th, which was the Cougars' first USA South game of the year. And this is also the first USA South home game for Averett, and it will be its last as well until after Christmas break. So we appreciate you joining us down here today. We've got a little bit of a scarce crowd. Most of that is due to the 1.5 feet of snow that we received on Sunday. We hope any Pfeiffer fans making the trip down here to Danville will be safe, and I would imagine that most of them are already down here by now, but we also wish safe journeys going back home too on these slippery highways. So we're going to take a look here at the Cougars' last matchup against the Tornadoes of Brevard. It was Vince Contreras coming in, pouring in a career-high 31 points in the loss. He was a perfect 3 for 3 from three-point range, went 4 for 6 from the free throw line, and then also turned in a 12 of 18 performance from the field, added 2 rebounds on the defensive end for a good measure. Also, the Cougars got 10 points in 9 minutes from Noah Smith. He shot 4 of 5 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, and then also came down with 3 rebounds as well. And then Raymond Bullock III and Timothy Henry each rounding things out with 7 points apiece for the Cougars. So we're going to take a look here. First half, Averett was perfect from the line, a perfect 7 of 7. They went 11 of 27 from the field. Meanwhile, the second half was a little less kind. From the free throw line, the Cougars went 5 of 8 for 62.5%, but they also shot 15 of 32 from the field, almost turning in a 50% shooting performance on the second half. So now we're going to switch over here. Going to bring up Pfeiffer's website get you guys, of course, if you are a fan of the Falcons, I'm sure I'm not telling you much new here, as you have probably followed that game live, but I always like to try to be as professional as I can, keep things as two-sided as possible. So we're going to take a look here, and it would help a whole lot too if I hit Pfeiffer instead of Brevard. Both of these teams getting warmed up now. Pfeiffer really coming in, tall team, also a quick team, and Averett has some size on it as well, and will look to use that size to get the ball inside and try to pound the paint as heavy as they can, as early as they can. So now we're going to take a look at the box score from the Falcons' last game against Piedmont International, which, as I mentioned earlier, ended in a 115-102 loss. You had Kendall Oliver, that's Piedmont International. You had Kyle Ridley, who came in and turned in a monster 43-point performance. Also grabbed 7 rebounds. He was 6 of 8 from three-point range. Also 13 of 17 from the field, and then went 11 of 15 from the free throw line. So Cougars definitely have a very formidable player to watch out for in Kyle Ridley. Also, Craig Saab poured down 14 points, added 1 rebound. He was a perfect 4 of 4 from the line, 5 of 8 from the floor. And those are some impressive numbers there for even in a loss. Pfeiffer actually led at the end of the first half, 53-50, a very high scoring first half between those two teams. And then it was Piedmont International, though, using a strong second half where they outscored the Falcons by 16 points. And that proved to be the difference. So we're going to take a look here. Averett has faced some very tough opponents this year. They opened up the season against a tough, long-range shooting Eastern Mennonite team. That game ended in a 90-74 loss. Then they followed that with the game against Hampton-Sydney College. That was actually, the original game was actually postponed due to a power outage here at the Grant Center. It's made up the next day, ended with the Tigers out on top 68-64. Then Averett took on a talented Guilford team, 75-56, in a 75-56 loss there. Ferrum College then Averett, took the trip up on Thanksgiving weekend to Ferrum College, where they lost a nail-biter 69-67. And then also coming in facing a very talented Virginia Wesleyan team, very talented Roanoke College team. And both of those games did end in losses for Averett. But a lot of positive momentum, though, as far as the Cougars and their scheduling and really facing some very tough ODAC opponents, which traditionally ODAC, the Old Dominion Athletic Conference, is a very strong conference when it comes to basketball. And that is more than definitely proved to be the case here thus far this season. So we're going to take a quick break here on the Averett Sports Network. Going to run down and try to find some game notes. But we'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes here with the rest of the Kickback Jacks pregame show here on the Averett Sports Network. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back here to the Grant Center, as we are now 2 minutes and 57 seconds away from the start of today's game between the Falcons of Pfeiffer University and your Cougars of Averett University. If you're just joining us, I'm former Assistant Sports Information Director Davin Wilson, and I will be on the call here for tonight's game, or today's game, excuse me. Not used to these afternoon games. Was originally scheduled for 7 o'clock, but the wonderful snowstorm that they call Diego came through and pushed up the time as it dropped 1.5 feet of snow here in Danville. And the game has been pushed up to avoid black ice and hazardous driving conditions for everybody involved. So anyway, if you're just joining us, we're going to go ahead and give you a rundown of each team's starting five. First, we're going to take a look at the starting five for Pfeiffer. We have Tajariq Simmons getting the number 1 spot. Number 12, Craig Saab. Number 14, Blake Zisk. Number 23, Kyle Ridley. And number 24, Nolan Whitener will round out the starting five for Pfeiffer. Meanwhile, you've got Montre Cash getting the first spot for the Cougars. He will be backed up by number 11, Jalen Burnett. Number 12, Timothy Henry getting the third nod. Number 22, Vince Contreras getting the fourth. And number 35, Isaiah Jones will get the fifth and final starting nod. So Averett so far looking like it's going to go with a 3-guard attack here in today's game. Looks like the Falcons will be doing the same, as 3 of their starters are guards, and then Kyle Ridley and Noah Whitner, the 2 forwards, who will be getting the starting nods here in today's game. So we're going to take a look here at some statistics for your Cougars. Right now, Montre Cash, had 6 points, 3 assists, and 2 steals against Brevard. He also finished with season highs of 9 points and 6 rebounds versus Roanoke, who has been receiving polls, or has been receiving votes in the D3 national poll. We also have Jalen Burnett, scored a team-high 20 points in Averett's loss at Ferrum. He finished with 6 points and a team-high 4 assists at Brevard. Timothy Henry totaled 7 points and 7 rebounds against Brevard in his first start of the season. Vince Contreras picked up a career-high 31 points against the Tornadoes, scored in double figures in 6 of Averett's games this season. And then, of course, number 35, Isaiah Jones, the 6'5 guard coming out of Wake Forest, North Carolina, Wake Forest High School, scored a career-high 15 points versus Roanoke and also had a team-high of 9 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 2 steals versus the Maroons. So we're going to take a quick break here for the national anthem here on the Averett Sports Network. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the Grant Center. That was the Averett Singers bringing you the national anthem. And with the national anthem, that can only mean one thing, that we are coming that much closer to the start of today's game. Pfeiffer is 2-0 since transitioning down to D3 and then joining the USA South Conference, winning both meetings last season. Pfeiffer won 123 to 107 on the road, and then the Falcons won 109 to 76 here in Danville. Returning honors and awards so far for Averett, sophomores Montre Cash and Raymond Bullock and Harrison Cochran each earned USA South Conference Rookie of the Week honors last season. And Averett coming in, they are picked second in the USA South East Division And it's going to be a good start here for the Cougars as they're going to look to try to even up their conference record at 1-1. Head coach David Duino is in his 5th season here at Averett. Served as an assistant coach at NC Wesleyan College from 2007 to 2014. And he has also served as an assistant at Virginia Wesleyan from 05 through 07, where he helped coach the Marlins to the 2006 D3 National Championship. And then the next year, he helped lead Virginia Wesleyan back to the championship game, where the Marlins finished as the 2007 National runner-up. So Duino hails from the Bronx in New York. He's got a little bit of that Italian fire in him that you saw out of coaches such as Jimmy Valvano and a lot of those cats. Brought a lot of emotion, a lot of passion to the sidelines. And Duino is no different. I remember doing a preview story for the Cougars at the start of Duino's first season, and one thing that he really talked a whole lot about was he was ready to get out on the sideline and really get to talking and mixing it up with his guys. And he's done a very good job of that so far. And now the two teams are meeting. We've got a little bit of House of Pain jump around going, and that means we're ready for the tip. And that one is going to go out of bounds. We're going to see which way it goes. Looks like it went off of number 35, Jones, but they're going to call another tip. And Averett will get that. Henry with the ball will give off to Jalen Burnett. Burnett over to Contreras. Contreras looking to try to make something happen. And Henry is going to get hit with the early foul, not even 10 seconds into the game. That is Henry's first personal, first team overall. See what Pfeiffer can do on the inbound here. Cash playing guard over here. It's going to be number 5. Trying to find my lineup sheet here for Pfeiffer. I've got it now. It's number 5, Simmons. Simmons with it. He's trying to drive. He's going to kick it back to the top of the key. Number 24, Whitener, gives it off to number 23, Ridley. Ridley tries to drive, and the Cougars are going to draw the charge. That was Whitener getting hit with the, Ridley getting hit with the charge. So now Cash with the ball. Neither team able to score on its first possession. Averett looking to change that. Vince Contreras with the ball over on the right wing. Contreras kicks it back to the top to Burnett, who is a dangerous three-point shooter. Will get that ball out to Jones. Jones driving in. And he's going to draw the foul against Pfeiffer. It's number 5. Tajariq Simmons getting whistled. So Cash over to Jones. Jones over to Contreras. Contreras spins up to the basket. No good. Henry with the tip in. Nothing going. The ball is bouncing around Ridley. But then Henry gets the steal. Henry goes up, kisses it off the glass. And Averett is out to the early 2-0 lead. Pfeiffer trying to use its speed to get right back down the court, though, as Zeke will dish off here to number 5, Simmons. Simmons gets it over to the corner. Zeke with the shot. Nothing falling, but he is going to draw the foul against Burnett. That is Burnett's first personal, team second. And it's going to send Ziske to the line for 2 shots. Ziske's first attempt is up and in. 2-1 ball game now, so let's see if Ziske can hit the second one and knot this at 2. After Henry's bucket got Averett out to the early lead. And Ziske goes 2 for 2 from the line. We've got a tie ball game. So Cash trying to make something happen. He's going to kick out to Contreras. Contreras with the 3 ball, nothing going. Number 23, Ridley with the board. Well guarded by Jones. And Jones is going to get whistled for the foul. Little bit of contact there from behind. That is Isaiah Jones's first personal, third team now. Jones not too happy about it. Thought he was playing some pretty clean defense there. So we're going to have number 40, Raymond Bullock, into the game now for the Cougars. Number 23, Ridley, with the ball. He's going to get it out to number 14, Zieski. And we're going to get a rechain or a reset of the clock. They're 1 in 18 seconds. And here's the restart. Zieski does a nice job of trying to keep that pass in. Nothing going, though. So we're going to have a platoon change here. Josiah Avington, Martavis McLam, Hank Connor, and Gabe Miller all checking into the game for Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer switches out 4/5 of its lineup there. So Cash trying to make something happen. One-handed jumper, gets it to fall. 4-2 as Cash will pick up his first 2 of the game, but now number 2, Gabe Miller, he's going to come back down on the other end. Nothing going. Ball goes to Henry. Henry to Burnett. Burnett trying to make something happen on the fast break. Left side off the glass. Averett now out in front, 6-2. McLam now with the ball. He will kick out to number 20, Connor. Connor with the long ball. Excuse me, that was number 2, Miller. Or excuse me, Blake Smith with that 3 ball, 6-5. Pfeiffer going with the half court. Henry, and Henry puts up the one-handed jumper, and it's now 8-6. Averett. So fast-paced game here over the last few minutes. Smith gets it over to number 20, Connor. Connor back over to Miller. Miller's going to kick it out to Abington. Abington puts it up, nothing going. Number 40, Bullock, down with the ball. He gets it out to Cash. Cash trying to slow things down a little bit. Cash over to Contreras. Contreras thought about the tray. Henry thought about the jumper, decides to go in. No good. Bullock gets the rebound, and we're going to have a foul on the play, I believe. So we're going to see Harrison Cochran check into the game for the Cougars. So we're going to see Cochran and Noah Smith coming in to the game for the Cougars. They're actually going to say the ball, and they are going to rule a foul. So Cash gets it over to number 14, Davis. So Contreras trying to drive in, gets it out to number 24, Cochran. Cochran puts up a shot, nothing going. Cash with a high-energy rebound, nothing going again. Noah Smith grabs the board. And we're going to have a foul whistled on the play. Noah Smith coming in at 6'6", one of the tallest players on this team, along with Mariba Diaby. So number 24, Harrison Cochran now is going to give it off to number 3, Cash. Cash gets it over to number 14, Davis. Davis back to Cash. Cash gets it in to Smith. Smith over to number 14, Davis. Davis back to Cash. Shot clock running down at 8. Cash thought about driving in. Is going to kick it outside. That's going to be number 24, Cochran driving. Nothing going. Shot does hit the rim, though. Resets the shot clock. It is going to be number 11, McLam, with the rebound. Out to number 4, Abington. Abington now with the ball. He's going to take the 3, and he gets it to fall, and it's now an 8-8 game. So Cash now trying to help the Cougars answer on the other end. Looks like we're going to have another platoon change here for Pfeiffer, as it looks like they're going to change all 5 of the guys that got on the court now. So number 44 is Smith. Smith gets it into Cash. Cash puts it up, and a nice shot in double coverage as Cash gets it to fall. 10-8 ball game. So number 2, Gabe Miller now. Miller, nice fake move right there. Cuts across, pass, nothing going. Cash is going to collect the loose ball. Cash kisses it off the glass. 12-8 now. Averett on a quick 4-0 run to pull back ahead by 4. Cash almost comes through with another steal. Averett right now out in the zone on defense. That's number 4, Abington. Abington gets a shot to fall, breaks up the 4-0 Averett run, makes it a 1-point game now. Vince Contreras trying to make something happen. Well guarded by number 2, Gabe Miller. So Contreras, he's going to take a jumper, does not get it to fall. Davis there with the rebound and the putback, though. And it's now 14-11, Averett. So number 2, Gabe Miller now coming in. Miller with the spin move, puts it off the glass, gets the basket. There was a foul called. I think they're going to call it on Averett. It will be. It'll be on number 14, Bryson Davis. So we've got the first media timeout here on the game. 6-minute media timeout, really 4-minute media timeout, but sometimes you don't always get that in there. Media timeouts were always one of those things when before I started working in sports, would really kind of upset you that they were taking you away from the game, taking you away from the action. But when you get in here and you work a little bit, you quickly see why they do call them. So Averett went on a 4-0 run there to pull ahead by 4. Pfeiffer has come back with 3 unanswered points of its own, though, to cut its deficit down to 1. Try to get you some updated stats here. Thought I had that ready to go, but apparently my internet connection did not want to hold steady for me. Pretty evenly matched game here between the two schools so far. So it looks like it is going to be number 2, Miller, at the line. Miller trying to tie it, and he does. And we're going to have number 0, Drew Cohn, come into the game for the Falcons. It's going to be number 2, Kayshawn Lewis, checking into the game for the Cougs. He's going to give it off to Contreras. Contreras trying to drive in, gets it over to number 24, Cochran. Back out to Davis. Davis is going to get to Contreras. Contreras trying to drive in off the glass, no good. Pfeiffer with the rebound. It is number 42, Johnson. Long shot, nothing falling. And I believe Averett is going to get whistled here. It's number 40, Raymond Bullock, getting ready to check in.
Checking back in for the Cougars, number 40, Raymond Bullock, and number 12, Tim Henry.
So Bullock and Henry and Burnett all into the game now. It's going to be number 0, Drew Cohn. Cohn over to number 22 or 23, Ridley. 15, Rodriguez with it right now. He gives it off to Ridley. Ridley trying to make something happen. Cochran comes down with the steal. Is going to get over to Bullock. Bullock over to Burnett. Handoff over to number 24, Cochran. Bullock, Davis. Davis back over to Henry. Henry's shot, no good. Number 40, though, Bullock there for the rebound and the bucket. 16-14 now, 13-15 remaining in the first half. Number 23, Ridley. Ridley gets it over to Johnson. So number 23, Ridley again. It's going to be number 33, Frasha. Rebound by Davis, or excuse me, by Henry. So Burnett trying to make something happen here. See what he can do. Shot clock getting down to about 15 seconds. Burnett to Bullock. Bullock back to Burnett. Davis now with it. Davis out to Cochran. Cochran over to number 14, Davis. Shot clock running down. Cochran puts it up, and the floater falls through. Averett has now matched his largest lead of the game at 18-14. It's going to be number 15, Rodriguez. Pass over. Rodriguez gets it over to number 45, Bailey. And we're going to have a foul on the play. Number 24, Harrison Cochran. Getting whistled for the foul. It's his first personal, team 6 though. And that's going to take Tristan Rodriguez to the line for a pair of shots. Rodriguez, the 6-foot junior guard out of Gastonia, North Carolina. First shot up and through. 18-15 is now the score. Not too far away from Messenheimer, home of the Falcons. So 18-15, 12-13 remaining in the first half. So we've got Vince Contreras coming back into the game. Also we've got Montre Cash entering it as well after taking a bit of a breather. So Rodriguez back at the line for his second shot. And that one's off the back iron, not going to fall. Vince Contreras with the board. He gets it over to number 3, Cash. Cash with the long pass down to Contreras, and that was number 24, Widner. Very athletic play right there. Get up and knock that play away. Pfeiffer was going with a half court. Averett trying to exploit that a little bit, and a nice defensive play there by Whitener to not allow it. So Bullock kisses it off the glass, and it's now a 5-point game. Averett trying to build a little bit of momentum right now on a 4-1 run. So number 5, Simmons, nothing going. Contreras down with the board. Contreras double team. Nice heat pass looking for number 12, Henry, but a little bit too much on that one. But Contreras does a good job there. He realized the Pfeiffer defense, most of it, 3/5 of it was down on the opposite end of the court, so quick pass trying to get it up there. So, well, we have hit the second media timeout of the first half. I need a sip of water, so I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break, but we'll be back with the rest of the first half here on the Averett Sports Network. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the Grand Center. 20-15 is your score. 11:37 left in the first half. Averett trying to put a little space between itself and a very talented, quick Pfeiffer team. Number 23, Ridley. Little underhand pass over to Saab. Saab driving in, trying to make something happen. Well defended there. Gets it back out to Simmons, though. And that's going to be number 24, Whitener. After Cash nearly stripped that ball, 20-17 is now your score. We see Pfeiffer right now almost in a man-to-man. It's number 40, Bullock. Bullock driving in, nothing going, and Bullock is going to draw the foul. So it's going to be number 24, Craig Saab, getting picked up, getting whistled for the foul. It's his first personal, team 5th. Bullock will go to the line for a pair here. And Bullock's first shot a little unlucky, in and out. See what he can do on the second one here. 20-17 is your score. Now approaching the midway point. Bullock puts up the second shot, hits the back end. 21-17. Pfeiffer not wasting any time on the inbound. Number 14, Zeesk. Little bounce pass over to Ridley. There's a long ball from number 12, Saab. Nothing going. Bullock with the rebound. Cash with the spin move, making everybody here at the Grand Center dizzy. Contreras And he goes up and he's going to draw the foul. And that is Ziski's first personal. So Contreras will go to the line for 2. That's Pfeiffer's 6th team personal. Or excuse me, team foul. Contreras hits his first one, 22-17. Going to the line for shot number 2. And he will not get that one to fall. Number 23, Ridley, gets the board. And that one is going to go off of number 12, Henry. Well defended there by Averett, but Henry deflects it, unable to keep it in. Ball goes to Pfeiffer. So we're going to see number 14, Bryson Davis, checking back in. Davis, the 6'2 sophomore out of Morganfield, Kentucky. Ball given over to Ridley. Kentucky, the Bluegrass State, also a great school for basketball. It's going to be a long 3 there, nothing going. Averett with the rebound. It's over to Cash. And some tough defense there by Simmons. Simmons is going to be whistled for the foul. That is his 2nd personal. Tajariq Simmons, the 5'6 sophomore out of Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. So Cash going to the line. So we have seen this Pfeiffer press, trap defense, corners defense, whatever you want to call it. Cash hits the first of his 1-and-1. Will earn the 2nd shot, 23-17. And we've seen it on display here from the Falcons. So Cash, and he will hit the 2nd shot. So we're going to have number 2, Kayshawn Lewis, and number 44, Noah Smith, back into the game for the Cougars, who now lead 24-17. Pfeiffer looking to cut into that, and that's number 23, Ridley, and he will, as Ridley hits a long 3. Pfeiffer back in its press, half court. Contreras, he's going to take in the long pass, and Averett will make Pfeiffer pay for its aggressive defense with a 2. Of course, Pfeiffer not wasting any time getting the ball back into the hands of Saab. Saab over to Simmons. Simmons driving in, a nice pass there. Deflected off an Averett defender, back into the hands of Simmons. Behind the back pass there from Saab. Excuse me, that was Brasher, I believe. Contreras doing a good job there, but there is a steal by number 14, Zeesk. And so we're going to have another platoon change, as it is Abington, Smith, Connor coming into the game. Also going to have Martavis McLam check in, along with Gabe Miller making his return. So Pfeiffer turnover. We'll give Averett the ball back. So Contreras double team right now, as Pfeiffer has pretty much its whole entire defense up in the Cougars' face right now. So number 11, McLam, getting whistled for the foul.
Lewis in line for 1-on-1.
26-20 is your score. And it's going to be Lewis at the line, looking to make it a 3-possession game. And he will earn another shot there as he sinks the first attempt on the 1-and-1. So 27-20 is now the score. Lewis coming up again. And he will knock down both of them, and it is now a 8-point difference. Averett out to its largest lead of the game. Miller is going to get that into the hands of Connor. Connor shot no good. Smith with the rebound. It's going to be number 11, McLam, launching that one. number 20, Hank Connor, with the rebound, and Connor will push it back in. So Lewis gets it over to Davis. Davis trying to exploit this pressure defense. And that ball will go out. Cash is going to check back into the game for the Cougars. As number 2, Kayshawn Lewis will come off. Lewis, the 5'10 freshman out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. Some fine athletes coming from the Tidewater area out near the eastern part of Virginia. So Cash, a little bounce pass into Cochran. Cochran turns around. Nothing. Noah Smith, though, and I think that was actually McLam that might have helped Smith's shot go in a little bit. 30-22 game now, 8:31 left in the first half. It's going to be number 2, Miller. Miller trying to drive, make something happen. Let's see what he can do. Miller coming in, and nothing but net on that shot. So Cash, Pfeiffer really physical defensive team, and Cash with a little finger roll off the front iron, 31-22. And Pfeiffer is going to want a timeout, so do we. We'll be right back here on the Averett Sports Network. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back here to the Grant Center on this snowy afternoon. Averett holding on to a 32-24 lead, 8:08 remaining here in the first half. It's going to be number 2, Gabe Miller, trying to make something happen here. Well defended by Lewis. Miller, though, does a great job of driving through the lane, getting his shot to fall. It is now a 6-point game. That ball is over there, and a nice tip. Henry puts it up, though, 34-26. And I believe number 24, Cochran, is going to get whistled for the foul there. And he will. So we've got another timeout here, I think, on the court. I believe this is going to be the media timeout. 7:42 left in the first half. And we're actually not going to have a timeout after all. Pfeiffer will have a 1-and-1 attempt here from the line, as I believe it's number 2, Gabe Miller, that is going to try to make this a 6-point game. Hit the midway point here in the first half, 34-26, Averett. So Miller's first, no good. Cash with the board. Pfeiffer taking some of the pressure off here. Cash over to Bullock. Cash gets it over to Bullock. Bullock thought about a shot, doesn't think about it, or holds on to it. And that ball is stripped by Miller. Of course, Henry comes down with a strip of his own, but Miller will end up getting it. Long ball, no good. Henry with the rebound. Henry over to Cash. And a lot of the difference maker in rebounding is effort, and Averett is really doing a great job right now. And Averett took a little too long getting that. No, actually, we're going to have a foul. No, and we will. It was actually Averett taking a little bit too long to get the ball up the court. Looked like they were headed to the line there. I didn't see a foul. Thought it was the backcourt violation that was whistled, and it is. So Ridley puts up a long three. Nothing going. Cash with the rebound. Cash gets off a nice pass. Cochran reaches out, brings it down. Cochran almost acting as a wide receiver right there. Coming down, making the one-hand grab using those big, strong hands. So Cash will get it over to number 12, Henry. Henry back over to Cash. Cash into Henry. Henry kicks it out to Bullock. And Pfeiffer is going to get whistled for the foul. It's number 1, Hayden Sawyer. First personal, team 9th. 34-26, 6:33 left in the first quarter or first half. Henry at the line. First attempt in and good. Everything, of course, here from here on out is 1-1 as both teams are in the bonus. And Henry's second shot falls. 35-26. Averett out to his largest lead of the game. Trying to extend it out to double digits. It's going to be number 23, Ridley. Ridley gives it over to Cone. Cone gets it in to number 1, Sawyer. Sawyer drives. Underhanded layup. 36-28 now, 6:17. See what Burnett can do. Burnett gets it over to Bullock. Bullock back to Burnett. Burnett's going to launch the three. He won't get it to fall, but Vince Contreras comes through with the Superman rebound and tip in. 38-28, Averett's largest lead of the game at 10 points.
30-second timeout, Averett.
And Averett's going to take the 30-second timeout here as David Duino is not the happiest camper right now despite his team being up by 10. Trying to encourage them to think right now and be a little bit more mentally tough. Averett, though, has come in and put in the effort under the glass, though. Would like to see the numbers, what the rebound numbers are so far for each team. 38-28, 6:03 as the Cougars hit the court again. Both teams do. Pfeiffer on the inbound. It's going to be number 23, Ridley. Ridley gets it over to number 12, Saab. Saab trying to make something happen. Saab gets it over to 23, Ridley. Ridley with the jumper. Does not get it to fall. It's going to be number 14, Davis, coming down with the rebound. And I think they're going to say Davis stepped out of bounds. And anyway, Pfeiffer will get the ball. That ball is out to Ridley. Ridley gets it over to Bailey. Bailey back to Ridley. Ridley gets it over outside. Long attempt there by Bailey. Nothing going. Burnett with the rebound. So Burnett over to Contreras. Contreras trying to drive. Good defense there, and there's a blocked shot. It's going to be number 0, Cone. He'll get it out to Saab. Saab puts it up, and it's now 38-30. 5:08 left in the first half. Cash. Excuse me. Cash over to Bullock. Bullock gets it back over to Cash. Cash, a nice little fake move. Gets it over to Davis. Davis with the 3 ball. Nothing falling. Contreras doing a great job of pinpointing the rebound. Grabs it and will kiss it back in. Back to a 10-point game. Bailey, though, with the ball now. Bailey switches directions nicely against Burnett. 40-32, 4:35 remaining here in the first half. It's going to be Montre Cash now trying to make something happen for the Cougars. He gets it out to number 14, Davis. Davis gets it over to Bullock. Bullock takes it up. Nothing going. Number 0, Cone there. Quick pass on the rebound. Number 12, Saab. And some nice defense there. I believe that was number 14, Bryson Davis. So we're going to have a switch here. So we're going to have Zieski Ziske Newland into the game for the Falcons. So Cash now gets it out to Contreras. Contreras trying to make something happen. He's going to kiss it off the glass. Nothing going. And Pfeiffer is going to draw the foul on that. That is Contreras' first personal. Team 8th now. Make sure to join us here or keep it locked here on the Averett Sports Network as we will bring you the Robert Woodall halftime show. So Ziske right now with the ball. He's going to kick it off to number 12, Saab. Saab gets it over to Simmons. Simmons a spin move back over to Saab. Shot clock running down. Saab a nice spin move, defended, and he's going to kiss that one in there. 40-34. So Pfeiffer on a quick 4-0 run to trim his deficit down to 6. Cash well defended. He's still going to get it off to Burnett. Ball is tipped though. Simmons is going to pick up the board, and Simmons is going to hit number 23, Ridley. Nice effort there by Cash to get the steal, nothing going. And Averett is going to draw the charge. And that is the media timeout here. 3:18 remaining in the first half. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back here on the Averett Sports Network. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back. We're entering the stretch of the first half, down to the final 3:18. Pfeiffer right now has scored 4 consecutive points to cut his deficit down to 6. Let's see if the Cougars can steal back some of the momentum going into the locker room. Cash over to Lewis. Lewis to Burnett. Burnett to Contreras. Contreras back to Burnett. Burnett over to Henry. Henry to Cash. Cash trying to drive in. He kicks it back out to Burnett. Burnett with the long 3. Tickles the twine. And it's 43-34 now. Loose ball. Averett is going to get it as Cash records the steal. Cash trying to put it up. Kisses it off the glass. Nice transition play. So Cougars answer a 4-0 Falcons run with a 5-0 run of their own. They now lead 46-34. It's going to be number 23, Ridley, coming up with a shot. No good. He's going to grab his own rebound. Goes up again. Nothing going. Lewis with the rebound. Kicks it out to Cash. So Cash gets it in to Henry. Henry off the glass. 48-34. Averett now up to double digits. The bench coming to life over there. Number 12, Saab. Saab gets it over to number 23, Ridley. Ridley trying to drive in, puts it up, nothing going. And we're going to have a foul whistled on the play. I believe it is going to go against number 2, Kayshawn Lewis. That is Lewis's first personal. So we're going to have number 4, Abington, number 2, Miller, number 35, Brasher. And then also going to have Fasha come into the game too, I believe. Ridley at the line right now, though. Let's see if he'll earn the second attempt. He does. 47-35. Pfeiffer appeared to have some momentum building right there. Put together a string of 4 consecutive points, but Averett coming back and grabbing 7 unanswered and really hits both of his threes to push the lead to as many as 14. But now Pfeiffer has responded with 3 of its own to make it an 11-point game. High-scoring first half. Two teams have combined for 83 points thus far. Cash gets it over to Contreras. Contreras over to Cash. Cash back to Contreras. Contreras driving in. Nice layup attempt. Nothing going. Contreras, though, in on the tip-in. 49-36 is going to be number 20, Connor, now with the ball. Connor thought about driving, met by Henry and Contreras, though. Switches directions, changes his mind. Brasher comes up. Nothing going, and Averett's going to draw the foul. And actually, no foul called. It will actually just be a simple turnover. So Cash gets it over to Lewis. Lewis outside to Contreras. Contreras gets it back over to Henry, and Henry with perfect form on the jumper. 51-36 now. And number 20, Connor, and Contreras sacrifices his body right there, draws the charge on Connor. That is Connor's first personal. Contreras, very heads-up play there. Establishing the advantage, moving in there, and then putting up the hit. So Cash, a long pass over to Henry. Henry goes up, perfect form on the layup. 17-point game now. Averett starting to try to pull away a little bit here. 6-0 run by the Cougars. And number 35, Brasher, he's going to get that ball over to number 2, Miller. Miller back to Brasher. Brasher with the 3-ball. Nothing going. Burnett skies for the rebound. And there's another Pfeiffer foul. That foul is whistled on Miller, his second personal. So that is going to send Henry to the line for, or excuse me, it's going to send Burnett to the line for 2 shots. 17-point game. 50 seconds remaining in the first half. First shot, nothing falling for Burnett. Burnett, solid transfer player for the Cougars. Looks like we are going to have number 14, Davis, and Bullock coming back into the game. 54-46. Averett has pulled away a little bit here in the final 3 minutes or so of the first half. Trying to take a little bit of momentum into the break. Cougars, of course, looking for their first win of the season, their first USA South Conference win. And at this point of the year, this is when the wins matter. Doesn't matter about the ODAC games. And so, wow, that is going to be number 35, Brasher, doing a great job playing very athletically there to get the ball in. Can't get the shot to fall. 20-second shot clock off. Let's see if Averett is just going to try to run things down here. They're going to try to keep digging. They do have an 18-point lead, 5 seconds remaining. So Henry drives in. He's got the basket, but there's a foul in the process. 1.7 seconds remaining. As I said, I'm going to take a quick break here at the half. About a 3 or 4 minute break, but after that I will be here. And that's going to be number 2, Gabe Miller, just throwing up one at the buzzer, nothing falling. So we're through the first 20 minutes here at the Grant Center. Averett in front, 54-36. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will have the Danville Mall halftime show for you here on the Averett Sports Network. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the Grant Center and to the Danville Mall halftime show. If you're just joining us, Averett played really strong ball over the last 5 minutes or so of that first half, and it's led to a 54-36 lead. Not too bad considering Pfeiffer comes into this game averaging triple-digit scoring. Of course, still have a long way to go in this one. Of course, Averett's defense has been the difference thus far. Forced nine turnovers. And Pfeiffer's defense has forced 9 as well, though. So we're going to take a look at some of the leaders here. First for Pfeiffer. Let's take a look here. It is right now, I believe, Gabe Miller, who has a team-high 7 points. He's backed up by Abington 6. And then Kyle Ridley has 5 for the Falcons. Meanwhile, Averett has been led by Timothy Henry's 14 points, Montre Cash's 12, and then Vince Contreras coming off a career-high 31-point performance against Brevard in the Cougars' last game is coming in right now with 9. Averett shooting 61.1% from the field here thus far in the first half, shooting 75% from the free throw line. Meanwhile, Pfeiffer comes in 41.9% from the field, 75% from the free throw line. Neither team able to get a three-point game going, as the Falcons right now are shooting 26.7% from three-point range, while the Cougars coming in at 25%. So another big difference in this game, was talking about it early on. Rebounding is definitely a effort type of thing, and Averett is really putting more effort towards the boards right now, as they have out-rebounded the Falcons 26-9 here so far in the first half. Averett with 16 defensive boards compared to Pfeiffer's 5, and then the Cougars have 10 offensive boards compared to the Falcons' 4. So Averett is going to have to try to keep this have to keep up his defense and try to keep this very talented Falcons team from scoring, because Averett just cannot afford to get into a shootout with Pfeiffer, as they are a very hot shooting team. Also, haven't quite seen as much out of Pfeiffer's press as I was expecting to see, as they are very quick and can cough up some easy turnovers, put up some easy points in transition off of those turnovers. And both teams' defenses forcing a combined total of 9 turnovers thus far. And really that final 3 or 4 minutes of that half really kind of proved to be the difference, as Averett was able to start getting the ball inside, working it hard in there, getting some big defensive boards, making some things happen. And we're able to extend its lead to 18 points. And we'll see if the Cougars can hold on, or we'll see if the Falcons will try to put together some type of comeback. So thank you for joining us here on the Danville Mall halftime show. We are going to take a quick break, but we will be back here in just a few minutes with the rest of the second half on the Averett Sports Network. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back to the Averett University Grant Center. Averett will start off with the ball to start the second half. 54-36 is your score. So Cash will start things off here. He's going to get number 12, Timothy Henry. Henry over to 35, Jones. Jones to Contreras. Contreras into Henry. And Henry will draw the foul, so we're going to have Henry, Burnett, Isaiah Jones, Vince Contreras, and Montre Cash on the court for Averett. For Pfeiffer, we're going to have Miller, Ridley, Saab, and Henry pushes it in, 56-36 now. Then Blake Smith and number 23, Ridley, all out on the court. So Jalen Burnett doing a great job of patting the ball, coming down off the rebound. So Cash with it now. Cash gets it over to Henry. Henry back over to number 35, Jones. Contreras over to Cash. Cash gets it into Henry. Henry with a jumper, does not fall. And it's going to be the speedy number 2, Gabe Miller, picking up the rebound, gets it over to Smith. Smith over to number 12, Saab. Saab over to number 4, Avington. Avington over to a wide open Smith. Smith cannot get the three to fall. Vince Contreras with the board over to Cash. So Cash over to Burnett. Burnett, a bounce pass into Jones. And we've got a foul on Gabe Miller. That is his third personal. And Jones kisses in the layup, 58-36. And we're going to have a stoppage in play. We're going to try to get the clock running. It is a little bit difficult. I've had to work that shot clock down there. It is not the easiest shot clock to always work. Will often have a tendency to freeze up on you a little bit, especially in the most inopportune times. So Miller now with the ball. He's going to kick it out to number 4, Avington. Avington with the tray, 58-39 now. So Cash gets it down to Jones. Contreras with a three ball of his own, nothing going. Avington with the board. Going to get down to number 2, Miller. Number 23, Ridley. Ridley driving in off the glass. Contreras there with the board. Contreras to Cash. Averett has really put in a lot of effort under the boards here today. So Cash over to Jones. Jones back to Cash. Cash inside to Henry. Henry outside to Contreras. Contreras is going to get whistled for the foul. That is Contreras' second personal foul on the day. First team foul of the second half. Number 2, Miller, now with the ball. Miller gets it over to Saab. Saab trying to make something happen here down the middle. Stripped by Contreras. And Contreras is going to draw the foul. Of course, Vince Contreras, younger brother of former Averett standout James Contreras, member of the 1,000 point club here at Averett. Graduated last year. Just finished up with Officer Candidacy School here not too long ago. So Jones over to Cash. Cash inside to Henry. Henry back to Cash. Cash is going to lay it in off the glass. And it's now a 21-point game, 60-39. Simmons not wasting any time. And there's the foul. It's going to be Timothy Henry getting whistled for the foul, his second personal. Team foul number 2 of the second half. So it's going to be number 5, Simmons, at the line. Simmons unable to get on the scoreboard in the first half. So he will look to right now, and he will as he hits the first of his 2. 60-40 is now your score. See if Simmons can hit the back end as well, and he does. And it's now 60-41. So Jones to Cash on the inbound. Cash trying to set up the play. He's going to get it over to Jones. So Jones inside to Henry. Henry's jumper, and it falls 62-41. And Henry seems to have the magic hand here tonight for Averett. Had 14 points in the first half. 3-point attempt no good. Contreras pulls down the board. Cash to Burnett. Burnett lays it up for the quick bucket. And it's now 64-41. Pfeiffer's going to take a quick timeout. We're going to take it with him here on the Averett Sports Network. And ladies and gentlemen, 16:26 remaining. Averett out to its biggest advantage of the game at 64-41. Of course, Pfeiffer more than capable of putting together a comeback, averaging close to triple digits. And there's number 4, Abington, with the long ball. Nothing falling. Jones gets a rebound. Will throw it off of Whitener. And Whitener's actually going to get charged with a foul. His first personal, team 4th of the half. So it'll be number 35, Jones, on the inbound. Gets it into Cash. Jones, the 6'5 sophomore out of Wake Forest, North Carolina, on the team last year. Missed most of the season due to an injury, though. So you know David Duino and the rest of the team is glad to have him back. Burnett right now with the ball. Burnett driving in. Well defended. Kisses it off the glass. Nothing falls, but he will draw the foul in the process.
That's his second personal. Team's 5th.
So Pfeiffer already not even 5 minutes into the second half. 5 fouls, and that is a media timeout. And we're going to take it with them. Averett in front, 64-41. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back here to the Grant Center. Just about 5 minutes into the second half, Jalen Burnett at the line. 64-41 game in favor of the Cougars. And Burnett's free throw will make it 65-41. Burnett coming to the line now for his second shot. And he's going to get it to fall now, 66-41. So it's going to be number 1, Sawyer, checking into the game. Or excuse me, on the inbound for Pfeiffer. He's going to get it out to Ridley. Ridley, some nice behind the back action, but Burnett there for the strip and steal. Nice bounce pass to Contreras. Contreras had just a little bit too much momentum, though. And he's going to apologize to Jalen Burnett, or JB as he's referred to by everybody here on campus. So Ridley is going to take a monster three from the parking lot, and he's going to get it. 66-44. Ridley might have had to valet park that shot. That was from a long way out. Cash gets it over to Henry. Henry back over to Cash. Cash over to Bullock. Bullock over to Contreras. Contreras into Henry. Henry over to Jalen Burnett. Jalen Burnett behind the back layup. Nothing going. Nice rebounding effort there by Rodriguez to come down with the board. It's back into Rodriguez. Rodriguez over to Abington. Abington's going to take the long ball. Nothing going. Vince Contreras with the rebound out to Montre Cash. Looks like Harrison Cochran might be checking back into the game for Averett. Gets over to Bullock. Bullock to Contreras. Contreras back to Bullock. Bullock to Cash. Cash with the long three. Nothing going. Vince Contreras with a great effort in the air to tip it back to JB. And then JB to Contreras for the layup. And that has been the big difference thus far. Averett's rebounding on both ends, leading to either second chance points or points in transition. Rodriguez with a nice running layup there in coverage. So Cash over to Bullock. Bullock back over to Cash. So Cash over to Contreras, all alone on the left wing. Does a good job, though, of holding off on the three as he was had defenders quickly approaching. Cash over to Contreras. Contreras over to JB. JB with the long ball, and it's good. 71-46 now. So Ridley coming down hard, and he's going to draw the foul from Bullock. Looked like it was maybe just momentum. That is Bullock's first personal team third. So we're going to have number 2, Kashawn Lewis. Bullock. Number 14, Davis. Number 24, Harrison Cochran. And then we're also going to have number 44, Noah Smith, checking into the game. So David Duino going with a little bit of a bigger lineup here. So number 15, Rodriguez. Rodriguez with the running J. He'll get it to fall. 71-48. Pfeiffer not going away quietly. They are going to stay in this game as much as they can. So Bullock over to Cochran. Cochran gets it over to Lewis. Lewis over to Davis. Shot clock getting down to 10. So Lewis right now with the ball. Lewis over to Cochran. Cochran is going to launch the three. And Cochran is going to get that one from the upper rafters. 74-48, 13:07. Number 12, Saab. Saab with the jumper, nothing falling. Lewis with the rebound. They're going to call a jump ball on the play. And Pfeiffer will take possession of the ball, trailing by 26. 13:01 left. Gets it out to Rodriguez. Rodriguez driving in. The ball will be kicked back to Smith. But Pfeiffer getting whistled for the traveling violation. Will turn the ball over, put it into the hands of the Cougars. So Pfeiffer, 4 men in the backcourt right now. Trying to force the Cougars into a mistake. Lewis over to Davis. Davis gets it over to Cochran. Cochran Bounce pass off a Pfeiffer defender. I believe it was Rodriguez. And Averett will retain possession of the ball. Just over 12 and a half remaining. 26-point game here. So that's going to be number 44, Smith. Smith over to Lewis, and it's going to be number 30, number 24, Whitener getting whistled for the reach. That is his second personal, and Whitener not happy with that call. I'm not exactly sure I would be either. It looked like a pretty clean play, but he will get called for a reach and a little floater. And Bullock is going to get charged for the foul there. Get called for the charge. 74-48 is now your score. So number 2, Gabe Miller with the ball. Miller speeding down the court. Will draw the foul. Miller coming in at 5'10" out of Lake Taylor in Norfolk. Strong basketball program up there. Strong football program as well. Really strong athletics altogether at Lake Taylor. One of my best friends lives very close to the high school, and whenever I'm down that way in the fall, I always try to check out some games. And so Miller will hit his first, 74-49. You got Lake Taylor, you got Norcom down there. A lot of talented high school athletics. Rich tradition of it in the 757 Tidewater region. Here's the second attempt, nothing falling, but Pfeiffer getting the rebound there. And that is going to be number 12, Saab. Driving in, but they're going to say he stepped on the line. So number 23, Kyle Ridley, back into the game for Pfeiffer. So Davis. Tough defense from the Falcons right now. Lewis. Lewis trying to make something happen, gets it out to Cochran. Cochran getting fancy with his handwork there. So Lewis back over to Cochran at the top of the key. Cochran from the foul line, nothing but cord. 76-49. Pfeiffer quickly getting the ball back down. Saab over to Ridley. Ridley is going to get the ball back to Saab. Saab trying to drive in, nothing going, but I believe he's going to draw the foul. He will, as number 14, Davis, getting hit with the personal, his second of the game. And that's going to lead us to the media timeout. 11 and a half remaining, 76-49, Averett. We'll be back in a jiff here on the Averett Sports Network. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. 76-49, just over 11 and a half left to play in this contest. And it's going to be number 12, Saab, at the line. Saab, the 6-foot sophomore out of Goose Creek, South Carolina. He will get his first attempt to fall. 76-50 is now your score. Saab trying to make the back end as well, and he will. And he's going to make it a 25-point game with that. So Lewis, Pfeiffer right now in the 2-3. So Lewis into Cochran. Cochran over to Davis. Davis inside to Jones, and some efficient passing right there as a trio of solid passes results in 2 points. And, of course, Rodriguez, or excuse me, Saab, not wasting any time either, gets the ball right back down the court. Jones over to Lewis. Lewis back over to Jones. Jones over to Bullock, I believe it is. Bullock over to Lewis. It looks like Cash, JB, Contreras, and Henry are all getting ready to come back into the game for Averett. Cochran, well defended right now. A nice pass over to Lewis, who brings it down. And Bullock gets the bucket and the foul. As we said, Bullock, team high, or excuse me, Bullock scored 5 in the first half. So Bullock will go to the line for the lonely free throw. That's not a bad name for an internet comedy group right there. 80-53 as Bullock goes to the line. His attempt will not fall off of Burnett, it looked like. Let's see where they're going to rule it. They're actually going to say that it ricocheted off of Ridley, I believe. Or no, it was actually number 33, Evan Fasha, the 6'4" senior out of Michigan. Long trip for that young man right there if he wants to go back home. So Cash over to Henry. Henry back to Cash. Cash gets it over to JB, to Burnett. It's Burnett back to Contreras. Contreras over to Cash. Cash trying to make something happen. Kicks it out to Jalen Burnett. Jalen Burnett, nothing going. Nice effort there. And it is actually going to be Saab that pulls it down. And Bullock comes up with a big block on Saab's shot. But they are going to get Jalen Burnett for a foul. So there's the first shot from Saab. Second shot does not fall. Henry there for the rebound. So Jalen Burnett right now gets it over to Henry. Henry just going to slow it down. Over to Cash. Let's see what Cash can do. Cash gets it over to Bullock. Bullock gets it in to Henry. Henry back out to Contreras. Contreras raining threes off the umbrella. Nothing going. Averett, though, with the rebound. So Cash will get it over to Jalen Burnett. Jalen Burnett inside to Bullock. Bullock gets it over to Cash. Cash out to Contreras. Contreras drives in. Nothing going. I believe that is Bullock with the board, but it is going to be Fasha, I believe, that got the steal, but Averett right back to work with the ball. So Cash, I think Cash is trying to slow it down right now, doing his job as point guard, looking over towards the bench, trying to get a play. Really just kind of trying to slow it down, and we're going to have a timeout on the court. We're going to take it with them. 9:02 left. Averett 80, Pfeiffer 54. We'll be right back on the Averett Sports Network.
30-second timeout.
And ladies and gentlemen, in the words of the theme song from Welcome Back, Cotter, welcome back here to the Grant Center here at Averett University. 9:02 left in the ball game. 80-54 is your score. So that is Cash. Now with the ball on the inbound, he'll get it over to Jones. Jones back over to Cash. Cash is going to shoot it from downtown. Nothing going. Averett with the rebound, but Henry will just miss keeping his foot in bounds, as Ridley will inbound for the Falcons. Gets it over to number 2, Gabe Miller. It's over to number 5, Simmons. Ball is passed over. It's a little bit of juggling going on, though. But Abington will pick up the ball and finish his shot. So Jalen Burnett over to Cash. Pfeiffer running that half-press defense right now, or half-court press. Contreras over to Cash. Cash gets it over to Jones. Jones back over to Cash. Cash inside to Henry. Henry over to Jones. Jones to Contreras. Contreras to Jalen Burnett. Burnett is going to kick it back out to Jones. Jones from downtown. And 83-56 now. It's Gabe Miller now with the ball. Miller gets it over to number 5, Simmons. Ball tipped by number 35, Bratcher. Averett with the ball now, but a quick turnover to Simmons. We'll get Pfeiffer another shot on the offensive end. Number 2, Miller. Miller over to 5, Simmons. Simmons puts up the tray, nothing going. Jones battling 3 Pfeiffer defenders for the rebound. Contreras with a quick restart to Cash. Cash no good. Simmons there with the rebound. Simmons gets it over to number 2, Miller. Miller driving, kisses it in off the glass, draws the foul. And it's now a 25-point game. 7:26 remaining. We're going to have a timeout on the court. We're going to stay with you this time, though. Averett has done a good job of keeping up its energy that it had in the first half. Did a really good job of working hard under the boards, picking up some rebounds. Finished with 16 on the defensive end, 10 on the offensive end in the first half. And that has led to some transition and second chance points for the Cougars. Also, Averett has done a good job of adapting to Pfeiffer's tough defense. Also, quick style of play that we saw last year when the Falcons came down here to the Grant Center for the first meeting between these two teams. As Pfeiffer transitioned down from D2. 7:26 remaining. It looks like we're going to have number 2, Miller, at the line. So Miller, 5'10", as we said before, junior guard, Norfolk, Virginia. He's going to be looking to knock down a couple of free throws here. The first one goes through. First and only one. 83-59 is now your score. So Contreras over to Cash. Cash over to Contreras. Contreras bounce pass to Cash. Cash over to Davis. Davis inside to number 44, Smith. So Jones to Cash. Shot clock running down. Cash gets it back out to Jones. Jones with the long ball, nothing going. Contreras there for the rebound. And they're going to say shot clock violation. I thought Jones's shot had hit the rim, but apparently it did not. Averett's going to get whistled for the shot clock violation. Pfeiffer takes over. 6:54 remaining, 24-point game. Of course, I was talking with with sports information director over here at Averett, and there's number 2, Miller, with a shot. It's going to be blocked by Jones. Must have gone back off of Miller because it will be Averett ball, but was talking with sports information director Drew Wilson a couple of days ago, and we were talking about how a couple of years ago Averett facing and Cash driving in, nothing going. Ball loose right now. Jones is going to pick it up. A nice steal there by Simmons. Simmons meets Contreras, though. Nothing going. And we've got a travel on Simmons. But Drew and I, we were talking about the fact of Averett nearly putting together nearly overcoming a 25-point deficit, I think, in the final 5 minutes a couple of years ago against a talented Battling Bishops team, as Averett was able to get some key three-pointers from Devontae Pinnell, affectionately referred to as Dip. And backcourt violation there from Cochran is going to give Pfeiffer the ball. Averett looking to go into Christmas break with a little bit of momentum here. And a solid win against a solid Pfeiffer team would definitely do that. So Noah Smith getting a whistle for the foul right there. That is Smith's first personal, and it will send Gabe Miller to the line as Averett's 9th team foul. So Pfeiffer in the bonus right now. 1-1. First 1-1 does not fall. It's going to be Cochran grabbing the board. Whitener playing good defense there. Henry to Bullock. Bullock to Cochran. Cochran over to Cash. So Cash over to Davis. And it's going to be Davis whistle for the foul. And no, excuse me, that was Noah Smith getting a whistle for the foul. His second personal. Team 10th. So number 15 now, Rodriguez on the inbound. Number 2, Miller now. So number 12, Saab. Saab gets it over to Abington, who shoots the 3. Nothing going. Smith there with the rebound. Cash to Cochran. And Cochran is going to get whistled for the charge. Good heads-up play there by Abington to step in front. That is the 3rd personal for Smith. And 3rd in just really the last 3 minutes. So there is a long attempt there by Ridley. Nothing going. Miller there with the rebound. Number 12, Saab. And there's another long three-point attempt. And Miller will tickle the twine with that one. So Noah Smith. Smith over to Cash. Cash trying to get the ball up court without turning it over. He's running out of time there. He's able to get it, though, up front. So Cash. And Cash is going to get whistled for the foul. Or excuse me, that is going to be Smith whistle for the foul. So Burnett, Henry, and Contreras all entering the game for the Cougars, who hold a 21-point advantage right now. So it's going to be number 2, Miller now. Miller gets it out to 12, Saab. Saab loses it, and there's a turnover. You see Davis getting pumped up by that turnover. So Davis on the inbound. We'll get the pass out to Burnett. We're starting to see Pfeiffer in its trap, and it works that time as Burnett steps on the back end line. Pfeiffer, a very talented three-point shooting team. And that is going to be number 15, Rodriguez, and he will show it right there as he knocks down a 3, 83-65. So Burnett, Pfeiffer really showing that speed right now on the defensive end, showing its mental toughness and its tenacity. And you've got to admire it. So Vince Contreras over to Davis. Davis over to Jalen Burnett. Burnett trying to drive in, gets it out to Davis. Davis with the 3 ball. Off the back iron, nothing going. Bullock with the rebound. And Bullock is going to draw the foul as he goes up. So ladies and gentlemen, make sure to keep it locked here on the Averett Sports Network following this game, as we will bring you the URW postgame show. Bullock goes to the line now, looking to try to make this a 20-point game. 83-65 is your score. First shot is up and in. 84-65. So Bullock tied with, or excuse me, Bullock coming in at 6'4", one of the tallest players on this team. And second shot good, and showing finesse from the line right there. So Jones back on the floor for Averett. Pfeiffer on the inbound. It's going to be number 12, Saab. Saab gets it over to 15, Rodriguez. Rodriguez with a long ball, nothing going. Davis there with the rebound. Davis to Vince Contreras. Contreras showing some nice shifty moves right there as he changes gears, and he's changed gears again, and he's going to drive right to the basket. And now it's Averett's turn to play a little bit quick defense as Jalen Purnett almost got a steal there. Number 2, Miller going up. Will not get the basket to fall. The foul is called, though, on Contreras. And we're going to get a timeout here on the court. We're going to take it with them on the Averett Sports Network. 87-65 is your score. 3:50 remaining. We'll be right back here on the Averett Sports Network. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the Grant Center. 87-65, 3:50 remaining in the contest. It's going to be number 2, Gabe Miller, going to the line here. This would be a solid win for Averett. It would also be his first of the year, first in the USA South Conference. Miller's first shot falls through. Of course, still 3:50 remaining to play. A whole lot can happen in that time. Here's Miller's second shot. Gets it to fall in. We'll get Pfeiffer within 20, though. Averett with the quick reset. Contreras to Cash. And Cash will just slow it down as Pfeiffer hustle back in transition. So Vince Contreras now. And Contreras well defended. Gets it over to Jones. Jones back to Contreras. Contreras off the glass. Something going. Gets his own board. Puts it up and finishes. So Miller with a quick restart gets over to Saab. Saab with the jumper. Does not fall. Henry with the rebound. Henry over to Jalen Burnett. Burnett driving down. He's going to hand it off to Contreras. Contreras finds air on the shot. Nothing going. Number 12, Saab with the rebound. Gets it over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez kicks it out to Abington. Abington gets it over to number 2, Miller. That's going to be a long ball attempt there by number 12, Saab. Nothing going. Averett with the rebound. And a scary moment here as Vince Contreras is on the court. Looks like he's all right. May have just gotten the wind knocked out of him as he took a nasty fall coming down on that. He is limping a little bit there. Nothing too serious. We do hope he's okay. As Contreras dropped in a career-high 31 points a couple of nights ago against Brevard. Those were the kind of performances we were used to seeing out of his brother James. So Burnett over to Davis. Davis to Burnett. Burnett back to Cash. Cash trying to create some space here. Gets it over to Burnett. Burnett inside to Henry. Henry out to Davis. Davis puts up the long ball. No good. Jones there for the rebound. And we are going to have a shot clock violation, I believe. No, we're actually going to have a foul. It's whistled on Abington. That is his third personal. So we're going to have number 35, Isaiah Jones, the sophomore, 6'5" forward. First shot in. 90-67 now. So Averett close to putting up 100 points for the first time on the season. Second shot does fall, 91-67. So Bullock back into the game. Ball is inbounded over to number 2, Gabe Miller. Miller's had a big second half for Pfeiffer. He will lose possession temporarily, but will regain it. Number 14, Zieski with the pass over to Miller. Miller hits the three, and Pfeiffer quickly back on that tough defense as it's Gabe Miller getting in there. Miller gets it over to number 4, Abington, who puts up the three, and it falls. 91-73 is now your score. Pfeiffer right now has 3 men in the backcourt, 3/5 of his team, and number 4, Abington, will be whistled for the reach-in. So 1-1 now. So I believe it is Burnett who is going to go to the line. 1:56 remaining. We appreciate you tuning in to the Averett Sports Network here today. We know you could have been a lot of different places, but you're here with us, and we appreciate it. Jalen Burnett's first 1-1, and actually it's going to be 2 shots, excuse me. First shot does not fall. Thought I saw the official signal 1-1 right there. So here comes Burnett's second shot from the free throw line. And the second charity stripe attempt is good. Going to have Kayshawn Lewis enter the game now for Burnett, who, as I mentioned earlier, affectionately known as JB on this team. So number 2, Gabe Miller, trying to make something happen here. He's going to get down, ball kick back out to Miller, and Miller is going to hit his second three in as many minutes, and it's now 92-76. So Cash gets it over to Bullock. Bullock to Cash. Tight defense there by Pfeiffer is going to lead to a turnover. Number 4, Abington. Abington is going to take the three, nothing going. I believe it's Cash with the rebound. He's double teamed though, gets it out to Lewis. Pfeiffer again with 3 in the backcourt. So Cash now trying to make something happen here. Ball is going to be stripped by Zieski. And there's the foul against Cash. Hats off to Pfeiffer. This Pfeiffer team has not quit. Zieski at the line here for a pair. First shot up and nothing going off the back iron. If things hold on this way, this will be a good win for the Cougars. Build up a little bit of confidence. Of course, Averett came in 0-7 in this game. Second shot falls. But all of those losses were in non-conference play. So we've got Ruggiero in the game. The 6-foot freshman out of Harrisburg, North Carolina. So Davis into Cash. Cash back over to Davis. Davis over to Cochran. Cochran back to Davis. Davis with a spin move. Over to Cash. Cash back over to Davis. Davis over to Cochran. Cochran back over to Davis. Davis gets it inside to Jones. Jones back outside to Cash. Cash outside to Cochran. Cochran with the running J and bounces up, hangs in the air for a second, falls through. 41 seconds remain. 94-78 Averett. Averett looking to try to hit triple digits for the first time this year. Ball, Miller shot blocked, picked up by Cochran. Cochran pass tipped by Abington, out of bounds. Averett ball. Cougars definitely would like to hit the triple-digit mark here today. So Cochran back to Cash. Down to the final 22 seconds. And a nice play there by Abington to strip the ball. Miller over to number 22. Small. Shot does not fall. Cash with the rebound. Cash over to Bullock. And that's pretty much just going to wind it down as Cash showing a little bit of frustration there that the Cougars couldn't get to 100, but they will still pick up their first win of the season, the Cougars will. 94-78. Make sure to keep it locked right here. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will have the URW postgame show here on the Averett Sports Network. Averett 94-78 over Pfeiffer, first win of the season. We'll be right back here on the Averett Sports Network. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here on the URW postgame show. I'm former Assistant Sports Information Director Davin Wilson, and we'll be taking us home here as Averett has just put the icing on a 94-78 win, his first of the season. And take a look here at some stats on the URW postgame show. First off, we're going to take a look here at some of the leaders. First for Pfeiffer, it was Gabe Miller. Had an absolutely humongous second half. Came into the break with 7 points. He led the team. He finishes with a team-high 22. Abington finishes with 14, and Saab will finish with 9 for the Falcons. And now we're going to take a look here for Averett. Just give me a second. Got to pull him up on my phone here. So right now, we're going to take a look here right now for Averett. Sorry, still looking here. For Averett there, actually, it was Timothy Henry finishing with 18 points to lead the Cougars. Vince Contreras finishing with 15. And Jalen Burnett and Montre Cash each chip in 14 to give the Cougars 4 players in double digits. One of the big differences in this game was Averett's shooting from the floor. Averett finishes 56.1% compared to Pfeiffer's 41.7%. Pfeiffer does get the edge in the three-point game, finishing 33.3. Averett finishes 26.7. But really the telltale difference in this game, and this was something we had talked about for quite a while, was the rebounding difference, as Averett puts up 52 rebounds to Pfeiffer's 19. So, ladies and gentlemen, Averett leads the whole way in this game, picking up the big win. And that is going to wrap us up here. Averett moves to 1-7 on the year, 1-1 in the USA South. Pfeiffer falls to 4-3 on the year and 0-2 in the USA South. So, on behalf of myself and everybody over here at Averett University and men's basketball, we like to thank you for tuning into this game, and make sure you keep it locked on AverettCougars.com and our social media pages for all the updates and action from Averett Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to today's game. I'm Davin Wilson, and wishing you all a great rest of the evening and a Merry Christmas.